Guys, please like, comment, subscribe, share the video, especially if you're a UFC fan. I've already given a prediction twice, most recently 4 or 5 days ago. And shout out to the fans. I've got over 1,000 viewers on that video with Islam Makhachev beating Charles Oliveira. But of course, as I always do, I always give an alternative situation as how the guy I didn't pick to win the fight, how he can win the fight. So here we go. Charles Oliveira. This guy has won 11 fights, 12 fights in a row. He's finished everybody except Tony Ferguson. Of course, most of them by submissions. But of course, leading up to the submissions, he ends up dropping somebody. Or he actually puts you out like he did Michael Chandler. Look, even though Islam, I think, is too big and too strong for this fight, and I think he's going to dominate the positioning with his wrestling. You got to remember, Charles Oliveira finishes a lot of guys. You know, all it takes is one mistake or one wrong move, and it's over, okay? So for Charles to win this fight, he obviously needs a finish. I don't think he's going to get a decision if he wins this fight. I don't think cardio is a problem for him, you know. He can go a long distance if he needs to. I just think he would prefer to get a finish. To keep this fight standing for him, I actually think he might have a bit of an advantage here. He needs to utilize his leg kicks. He needs to hurt Islam on the feet and drop him, which he can do. He needs to avoid that big left hand that Islam has had. I've seen the highlights of Islam knocking somebody out with one punch. I think it was with the left hand, so he needs to circle away from the left, go to the right. No. You know, yeah, get away from his left hand, and he needs to land some shots on the feet. He needs to avoid getting hit real hard. He's been able to, but then again, you know, I've seen where he's been dropped by guys by Poirier, Gaethje, Chandler, guys that all hit hard, right? So I think if Islam hits him too, I don't think it would really put him out of the fight, but it might put him in danger. But he might think, you know what, I've been dropped by all these guys, and I've come back to finish them all, so I might finish him too. So that's also possible. But I would prefer to keep the fight standing if I was Charles. He can knock him out. He can. I don't see why not. For him to win this fight, he needs to win it early, within 2 rounds. Can he do it? Yes. Again, he knocked out Chandler. Chandler has big punching power. He knocks guys out all the time. And now he's been doing it with his front foot. So, I think Charles's best chance is to put Islam against the cage, with his back against the cage, where Islam's not looking for a takedown. He's probably going to be willing to stand with Charles, and I think that would be his undoing. I think Charles needs to get a wild exchange. He needs to not get hit too much. He needs to get the better of the exchange, catch him with a big punch, a big flurry, hurt Islam, put him on the ground and submit him if he can with a guillotine choke to where Islam can't grab him, to where his neck is vulnerable, his head is vulnerable, his arms are vulnerable, go for a Kimura probably. He doesn't need to be on his back in this fight with Islam. I know he has Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but he doesn't need to be on his back because I doubt he's going to submit Islam off his back like that, especially if Islam's dominating the fight with his wrestling. But again, he can knock him out. He can submit him with a standing guillotine or something like that. But if this fight goes past round 3, all bets are off. I wouldn't pick Charles to win this fight. He needs to win it in no less than the first 3 rounds. And of course, the submission's possible. He's got a bunch of submissions in the UFC, so. But I think his best bet is to knock out Islam on the feet.